So this is Hulk Hogan, or well, his real name, Terry Bollea. And for years, he was one of the most famous men on the planet. But then one day, everything collapsed. A secret recording, a betrayal by his closest friend, and a lawsuit so massive it didn't just ruin lives. It destroyed an entire media company. Back in the late 2000s, Terry wasn't at the top of the world anymore. His wrestling career slowing down. His public image still strong. But behind the scenes, his personal life was falling apart. Because one day, Terry allegedly cheats on his wife. Not just with anyone, but with someone connected to his own family. Now, technically everyone involved were adults, but still, it crossed a line. And when his wife finds out, everything explodes. She files for divorce. And just like that, Terry loses his marriage, his home, and a huge chunk of his wealth. After the divorce, Terry moves into a hotel. Alone, no family around, no support system. And for the first time in years, he's not Hulk Hogan anymore. He's just Terry. And the pressure hits him hard, emotionally, mentally. He starts spiraling. That's when he leans heavily on his closest friend, a guy named Bubba the Love Sponge. Now, Bubba isn't just some random friend. He's a radio personality. Loud, wild, controversial, and his lifestyle very unconventional. Bubba is married to a woman named Heather, and their relationship, it's not traditional. They have what is known as an open marriage, meaning they allow certain boundaries to be crossed, as long as everyone agrees. Now, here's where things take a strange turn. At some point, Bubba makes Terry an offer that sounds unreal. He tells him, "Do you want to spend time with my wife while I'm present?" And Terry, at one of the lowest points in his life, says yes. What happens next? Terry and Heather spend time together, more than 11. And afterward, Terry opens up emotionally. He talks about his divorce, his kids, his struggles. To him, this wasn't just physical. It felt like trust, friendship, support. But behind the scenes, something else was happening, something he had no idea about. Because what Terry didn't know was that inside that house, there was a hidden camera, recording everything without his consent, without his knowledge. And those recordings didn't just disappear. They were saved, stored, burned onto a DVD, and kept for years. Fast forward, 5 years later, out of nowhere, images start appearing online. Blurry screenshots, private moments, leaked onto gossip websites. Terry sees them and immediately realizes there was a recording he never agreed to. And it gets worse, because soon, the full footage starts circulating. Then comes the biggest blow. A media company called Gawker gets hold of the footage, and instead of keeping it private, they publish it. Not all of it, but enough. They release clips, write articles, and the story goes viral. Millions of people see it, and overnight, Terry's most private moment becomes public. Imagine waking up and realizing the entire world can see something deeply personal about you. Your family, your children, your friends, everyone. Terry feels violated, angry, betrayed, not just by the media, but by someone he trusted. So Terry does the only thing he can. He hires a lawyer, and he demands the footage be taken down. But Gawker refuses. They argue he's a public figure. This is newsworthy. This is protected speech. So Terry responds with one move. He sues them for $100 million. But here's the problem. Lawsuits like this, they're expensive even for someone like Terry. And that's when someone unexpected steps in, a billionaire named Peter Thiel. Now, Peter Thiel has his own history with Gawker. Years earlier, they had publicly exposed details about his private life, something he never forgave. So when he hears about Terry's case, he sees an opportunity. Peter Thiel secretly funds the lawsuit, behind the scenes, quietly, no headlines, no announcements, just money, fueling the case. And suddenly, Terry's lawsuit becomes unstoppable. But just when things couldn't get worse, more footage leaks. Not just private moments, but conversations. And in those conversations, Terry says things that spark massive backlash. The public turns on him, sponsors pull away, and even WWE cuts ties. After years of legal battles, the case finally goes to trial. Terry argues, "This was a violation of my privacy." Gawker argues, "This is freedom of the press." The courtroom becomes a battlefield. Privacy versus media. Individual versus corporation. Then the jury reaches a decision. They side with Terry. And the number? Shocking. $140 million. More than he even asked for. The impact is immediate. Gawker can't survive the blow. They file for bankruptcy. The company collapses, and one of the internet's most controversial media outlets is gone. In the end, Terry walks away with a settlement. But at what cost? His reputation, his privacy, his legacy, all changed forever. And this case, it didn't just destroy a company, it changed the internet forever. Because sometimes, the most dangerous thing isn't a crime, it's what happens when your worst moment becomes the world's entertainment.